What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to Cash Media. Y'all already know what it is, man. It is the NBA draft about to kick off, right? I'm excited. We finna see a bunch of great players be drafted tonight. And obviously, the mystery is finding out, where these guys are gonna go, which team is gonna have the steal of the draft, and also, if you guys been keeping up with the NBA, there's also been some trades that we definitely have to get into. That's been shaking up the NBA. Some questionable, some favorable, but everybody has their opinion. And obviously, on Cash Media, I got mine, right? So let's tune into this first one. Let me bring up Twitter, try to pull up the draft. All right, let me pull this up. Hold on. Come on now. All right. Live draft. Live. Should have had that ready. All right. Go. All right. So NBA draft 2023 live updates, latest odds, mock drafts, and whatnot. So just to give you guys a little heads up, if you guys aren't tuning in, Adam Silver is getting into it. He's doing his whole speech, his whole spiel. But let me know, I want to do the favor and at least pull this up for you, show you the draft order and how it's going to be looking for the rest of the night. So obviously, San Antonio is going to have the first pick. You already know they're going to get Victor Wembanyama. That's not even a question. It's not even questionable. He's going to be drafted number one. Right now, moving forward, we have seen some things. We've seen a mock draft. Adrian Wojnarowski, he had the chance to come out and give a final mock draft of what it is going to be looking like moving forward. Right. So that is also on NBA.com, NBA NBA.com, ESPN Plus. So you do need ESPN Plus to kind of see that mock draft. So you know what? I think I'm going to do the favor here because that I do have ESPN Plus. I'm going to pull it up for you guys, and then we're going to do a good little comparison here. And then also, at some point in time, we should have some more guys pull up on the panel, and then we can discuss some other NBA topics. So let me pull this up real quick too, so I can show you guys, what they got this draft looking like. All right, so let me pull this up too. Pull this up instead. So, like I said, Victor Wembanyama, no doubt about it, no question about it. He's going to be taken number one overall by the San Antonio Spurs. It's been highly predicted. Victor Wembanyama has been really balling this year when it came to what he's been doing at the G League level, per se, right? We do remember that famous head-to-head matchup with Scoot Henderson. It was a great one to see. I mean, this guy is like what, 7'5", and he made 8 threes in that game, right? He made 8 threes. This is a 7'5" guy, right? They have him listed as a power forward / center, obviously because of his size. He's going to be playing the center position. But I can see Victor Wembanyama playing a lot more of the 4 than the 5. Now, I know, given his height, there's going to be some conflict with that, but I don't see him as a post player necessarily. He can block shots. We see that he can rim protect, that he does go after the ball and try to shut down the paint if necessary. But when it comes to the post game, we got some pretty heavy set centers now in this league. We got some pretty aggressive mofos in the NBA. Now it's not, there's not a lot of abundance of how it used to be, with centers and power forwards. There wasn't an abundance of those guys, that played like Shaq, that would be posting you down aggressively, and you guys know what I'm talking about in that dominant nature, right? If you see that, you'll see Embiid post up every now and then. Jokic is exceptional at it also, and then not to mention Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's a fast, who's a fast break monster, and it's just a killer when he gets to the rim. So Victor Wembanyama though, my only concern is really just the defensive side of the ball. And I can see him probably maybe being caught a lot of the times at the perimeter, and with his lanky body and skinny body, it might be troublesome for him to guard some of those smaller guards. But if not, going to the offensive side of the ball, with Victor Wembanyama, I have no doubt about it that he's going to be probably killing this year. The odds were relatively in his favor to win Rookie of the Year, which is really understandable. But yeah, being a 7'5" guy and doing the things that he can do, he's gonna be a monster, right? Obviously, the biggest concern circulating around Victor Wembanyama is his health, right? Being a 7'5" guy, these guys tend to get injury prone and get hurt a lot. I mean, we see it with these guys in today's NBA, right? So, Victor Wembanyama has been cognizant of that. He has been paying attention to that and trying to do workouts and certain exercises, to keep his body in shape, so a little bit more durable, right? So this guy is 19 years old, 7'5", going to be the first pick of the draft, and then he's going to be going to the San Antonio Spurs to be coached by one of the greatest coaches of all time, Greg Popovich, right? Greg Popovich has been in this game for a long time, right? He was at the head of the helm when the Spurs were on their dynasty run, right? Let's call it what it is. It was a dynasty, right? They had 5 championships under Greg Popovich and Tim Duncan, right? And so this is what Victor Wembanyama is going to be going to. Right? He's gonna have leadership. He's gonna have structure in the front office. He's gonna have coaching. Obviously the San Antonio Spurs team isn't as great as what it used to be. They're definitely in the purgatory stage of their career or of their franchise. But that, once you have that star guy, that can certainly make a difference, especially with a name like Victor Wembanyama that's going to bring a lot of money to the San Antonio Spurs. They've always been a classful organization, always did things in the most elegant way. That situation with Kawhi Leonard was pretty nasty though. But like many other people, were very shocked, to hear and see that situation, and how it really went down. But, those guys are gone. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, those guys aren't playing for the Spurs no more. So you got a lot of young guys. But with that being said, some of these guys on this team, have some skill. They can ball. Jeremy Sochan, I hope I said his name right. He had some pretty decent games this year. Jakob Poeltl, we knew that he was on the team, but he got traded to the Toronto Raptors, right? But looking at it now, they're in a situation where they're going to be having Victor Wembanyama. So what's the point, right? And then I forgot his name. Fudge. I know that one of the Joneses, right? Because I know Tyus Jones from the Memphis Grizzlies just got traded. But hold up, the draft is in right now. So, yep, Victor Wembanyama just got selected by the San Antonio Spurs. And everything that I was talking about, it's no surprise, man. But, it happened. It happened, right? So, Victor Wembanyama, there you go. Drafted by the San Antonio Spurs. First pick of the draft. And it's going down like that. So, yeah, man, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be insane. This is going to be really, really interesting rookie class moving forward. Now, we know that there are supposed to be a couple moves here potentially on draft night. We might see some teams do some trades here and there. We've heard some noise with Trailblazers potentially trying to get rid of their third pick in hopes of getting a star and being able to compete for a championship. Now, I don't believe it, just like many others. But we're going to see. We're going to see how this goes down. Victor Wembanyama is just the first pick so far. This was predictably so. There's absolutely no surprise whatsoever in him being the number one pick of the draft. So we can start getting into other guys into it. Or we can start getting into other guys, right? Brandon Miller, right? ESPN has him going number 2. The guy from Alabama. I know we've heard some things with Brandon Miller throughout the year, but he's definitely been doing his thing when it has come to the collegiate level, right? Now, I would admit here, I don't watch as much NCAA basketball as much as I do NBA, but I know enough about Brandon Miller to know that this guy is a monster. This guy's a beast, right? Now, I don't have the numbers at the top of my head on what he's been doing, but it's going to be interesting to see Brandon Miller go to the Hornets. Actually see him against professionals, see what he actually does in a league with a bunch of guys who can play at his level. Right now, I'm just taking the more optimistic approach and trying to see how this really works out. The Charlotte Hornets. We know what happened with Michael Jordan selling his majority stake, and now him being the minority owner of the Hornets. But it came out, and then they were saying, Michael Jordan is going to have the opportunity to have final say in his draft pick. So if you guys been keeping up with what's been going on, with Michael Jordan's tenure as the owner for the Charlotte Hornets, he has not been a great owner at that, right? So, but you have Scoot Henderson. I'm more of a Scoot Henderson guy, but Brandon Miller. I mean, if they get him, hey, that's another 3. That's another wing, and if he comes and he does what he's supposed to do, or what he has been doing at the collegiate level, it's gonna be a crazy time for Charlotte. But he has to do it, and not to mention LaMelo does have to stay healthy for the year, which has been a problem for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, number 3. So ESPN Plus, another mock draft, has Scoot Henderson drafted by the Portland Trailblazers. Right now, Scoot Henderson is playing at the G League level. Now, this is still an odd draft selection in my point of view, but I think the Trailblazers would probably potentially, I said probably potentially, that they would potentially draft Scoot Henderson and trade him maybe sometime in the future. Probably use him as use him while his draft value is very, very high. And we've seen this sort of thing before. We've seen the team do something like this on draft night, right? Or when somebody gets drafted and they trade him. For instance, like Andrew Wiggins, right? He was supposed to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers to play with LeBron, but they traded that pick with Minnesota, and then Minnesota had Andrew Wiggins from that point on, and everybody knows what happens with Kevin Love, right? So with Portland, they've been very adamant on trying to, I guess, throw something out there, throw a trade out there, use that pick to get a star, to get some help around Damian Lillard, because Damian Lillard this year was playing at like all NBA first team level. But the reason why he wasn't an all NBA first team player this year was because, they didn't make the playoffs, and usually players that make the playoffs, would be first team all NBA. But oddly enough, as is though, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander made the play-in. And then Luka, I believe, was first team all NBA, if I'm not mistaken. So, but that's a special exception, though. We know Luka is going to be first team all NBA, but that would at least be my motto when it comes down to first team all NBA. You got to make the playoffs, bare minimum. Anything other than that, it's going to be second team all NBA. But remember, there's also new rules and guidelines for all NBA selections now. So you have to play a minimum of 65 games in order to be eligible for awards. So that's going to be a very interesting thing that kicks in. We're going to see how that copes up. All right. So going on now is Amen Thompson. Right. So I'm just going to read this out. So all signs point to Thompson being the choice for Houston's number 4 with the Rockets weighing a big upset swing on the hope that he can become a type of connective guard their roster needs. While it may take some time to adjust to the speed of the NBA, his unique athleticism and passing vision should allow him to create advantages in the open floor. Thompson's potential become both a lead playmaker and perimeter stopper could round this team quite nicely. For the Rockets, Thompson's upside seems to far outweigh the concerns around his jumper. His long-term ceiling is significant and makes him maybe the most tantalizing. Sorry, my bad. I'm not great. I'm not great at this, man. Risk reward pick in the class. All right. So, yeah, man, I know you guys are gonna be roasting me in the comment section with that one. That was horrible. All right. So, second pick is in. So let's find out what's going on. Okay. All right. So they were right. So Charlotte Hornets picked up Brandon Miller, right, from Alabama. From Alabama. Right. All right. So let me finish tapping into this. So the Houston Rockets, right? We know what's going on with their situation. They're in a rebuilding phase. I mean, come on now. I mean, these are the top teams in the draft. Of course, they're all in the rebuilding phase. But Houston Rockets, they just hired Ime Udoka as their new head coach. So having him as a head coach, we know what comes with him. He has a defensive mentality. He imposes himself on his guys and holds them accountable. But given the situation, Ime Udoka was previously in, we know that he's going to try to reestablish himself, which is going to be a tougher route than previously, right? He was in a situation that was set up for success. You had Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, two-star guys, playing basically at the prime of their careers right now, in finals contention every single year. So, you had a better roster that time around. So, given that he's now the head coach for the Houston Rockets, he has a young team with Jaylen Brown, Jabari Smith Jr., who else? It was Kevin Porter, right? So it's going to be interesting. Right? Detroit Pistons, right? Now, this team has been one of the teams that's been up in the draft for quite some time, right? So Rashard Thompson, another point guard and a shooting guard, that's going to be taken high in this draft. Now, one thing that I did notice is that this draft is very guard heavy, right? I believe there's as far as predictions go, there was only one wing, one forward, well, two, if you consider. Well, Victor Wembanyama is more of a center, so I'll give him that. So Victor Wembanyama is the center. So the first two were, center and forward, and then the rest were guards. Because Scoot Henderson's a guard, combo guard. Thompson's a combo guard. And Rashard Thompson is a combo guard. So the intel shifted in recent days following Cam Whitmer's workout in Detroit, indicating that the Pistons may look in a different direction, be it trading down or selecting another player such as Rashard, making Monty Williams the highest paid head coach in the NBA unquestionably gives him input on how the roster is built, and the expectation around the league is the Pistons will want to pivot responsibly as quickly as possible. Detroit has explored trade down scenarios, sources told ESPN, but ownership may be reluctant to forego the opportunity to add a high-end talent that this portion of the drafts allows. After a difficult season the team endured, teams such as Utah, which holds the 9th and 16th pick, would surely love to package their picks to get to the portion of the draft, but the asking price for that on Detroit's side has been prohibitively high. Right? So, with Detroit, Cade Cunningham got injured last year. So I feel like we weren't really able to see how this team could really blossom. They were never really at their full potential. Now, with that being said, was there high expectations for the Detroit Pistons? Not really. They were probably going to be one of those lower tier teams anyway. But with that being said, you have a young group of guys. Right now, you have somebody like Monty Williams who probably has, like what the article just said, input on the roster and seeing how or what direction the Detroit Pistons are going to be headed in. Right, Cade Cunningham got surgery, so he's going to be back. Right, he's going to be back in the lineup next year, and not to mention the Detroit Pistons also traded for Wiseman and Duran, right? The center that came up every now and then. So this team can be very imposing if they can keep it together. This could be a scary team moving forward if all the cards are played right. So I don't see Duran as one of those centers or like a DeAndre Ayton, and how he came up. I see a different player in this guy. So. But with that being said, let's move on to the next one. So whenever the draft, whenever a pick is in, I'm just gonna let you know and then give it live, basically. So 6 is Anthony Black. All right. Per usual, the Magic have been a tricky team for rivals to read at this point. But Black and Ashard Thompson appear to be the two strongest candidates, considering Orlando's lack of size in the backcourt and emphasis on feel in its perimeter players. Black fits the mold, and with Thompson off the board to Detroit, he could very well be the pick here. In this scenario, the Whitmore available at number 6, he could also be a viable candidate. The Magic have explored moving around in the draft. Hold up. Portland Trailblazers are making their pick, and to no surprise, Scoot Henderson is going to the Portland Trailblazers. So this is interesting. Okay. Flash little suit too. What type of chain is that? Man, this guy went all out. All right. There you go. So last season, he became the youngest player in the NBA G League history, being 17 years old. You know what? Let's switch to this though. Let's switch to this. Because I want to look at what they're saying. All right. Oh, got a charge. Okay, all right. My fault. I just had to plug my charger in. Okay, but just to remind you guys though, there is the link in the comment section in case you want to chime in and hop on the panel, man. So let me drop it right here. All right. So what's going on? All right. So Spurs draft him. No shock there. Lakers, Nets are potential trade partners. Okay, so this stuff, dropping right now. So I'm definitely going to chime in on this. Effort's going on in that other one. Lakers, Nets are potential trade partners. So the team that has come up the most in conversations over the last 24 hours as a potential trade partner for the Lakers has been the Brooklyn Nets. According to the league sources, the Nets have the number 21 and the number 22 picks in the draft, presenting the Lakers an opportunity to trade back and recoup another asset. Brooklyn has had a plethora of 3-and-D wings that the Lakers are interested in, including Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal, two players that have been linked to LA in recent days. Additionally, Jordan Hawkins, who the Athletics' Sam Vecini has projected to go to the Lakers at number 17, is a player who has been gaining buzz as the Lakers' likely selection if they keep their pick, according to league sources. Hawkins joining the likes of Kobe Buffkin, Derek Lively II, Jet Howard, Nick Smith Jr., Noah Clowney as mid-first round prospects LA is interested in. All right, so that's interesting. So Lakers possibly want to trade down. But we knew that they wanted to trade. They were seeking to trade their pick and get an asset, right? So that's been out there. Let's see what else is going down. Okay, this has nothing to do with the league's Latin America Academy. So Olivier, Maxey, and Prosper is trying to become the second player. Oh, so there's a guy. Okay. All right. Why are there only 58 picks in tonight's draft? There are 60 draft selections in a typical NBA draft, but there will be 58 in the 2023 draft due to two forfeitures. 76ers were penalized a second pick due to tampering violations of the signing of Daniel House Jr. and PJ Tucker. They also were penalized in 2024 second round pick. And then Chicago Bulls were docked a second round pick for free agency tampering violations from signing Lonzo Ball in 2020. All right. Here's some other news. Here's some other stuff, man. I got like 12 updates. So we're going to keep running these down. And then, like I said, every time a draft pick comes in, we're going to throw that in there. I'm going to stop and let you guys know. All right. 10 years ago, and 20, 30, 40, 50, your number one picks, Victor Wembanyama is expected to be the number one pick tonight in the NBA draft. 10 years ago, the pick was Anthony Bennett out of UNLV. 20 years ago, some guy named LeBron James went from Akron, Ohio to Cleveland. Rumor has it he's done okay with his career. Let's go even further back. The number one pick 30 years ago, Chris Webber. 40 years ago, it was a player who was trying to compare Wemby to a 7'4" Ralph Sampson. Literally see eye to eye, but their games are noticeably different. All right, so I got somebody on the panel, so I'm going to pull him up. This guy, AK. What's going on, bro? You tuning in? You watching this? You hear me? If you're talking, I can't hear you, bro. All right, let me keep talking now. And then we have 50 years ago, Doug Collins was the number one pick. He's gone on to be a coach, executive, and analyst in the league, right? So David Stern tries to, all right, no, just more BS.
Yep.
All right, yeah, I hear you now, bro. You watching this?
I am.
So it finally cashed in. Victor Wembanyama, a Spur.
Yep. I mean, not like anyone else thought that he wouldn't be.
Nah, we know. The other picks, though, Scoot Henderson and then Brandon Miller. So Brandon Miller was drafted by the Hornets.
Yeah.
And
keep going.
And then Scoot Henderson was drafted by the Portland Trailblazers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
You got anything you want to chime in? Oh, wait. Houston Rockets just picking selection just came in. Okay. All right. So that's a little different. That's different from the ESPN article that I was previously showing a second ago. So a short Thompson was actually supposed to be taken at the 5th pick. So Houston actually, Houston actually took the brother because they're actually twins, which is the crazy thing about it. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're twins. Yeah, so brother with twin, a short in overtime elite, right? Yeah, so there's two, led all players with 9.2 assists per game in overtime elite playoffs. This is the guy that just got drafted.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I want to find a way to pull up the draft though, but I don't want to get copyrighted again. Copyright again. The game-winning field goal in Game 2 of the championship. Okay. But he got some killer in him.
I'm surprised that what's the name? Hornets didn't take Scoot because Scoot is better player than Brandon Miller.
You think so?
Yeah. Scoot is like on a Wemby skill type of level. Obviously the problem is that he's 6'2", but skill wise, he's great.
Have you looked into the other guy?
Yeah. Yeah, he's crazy too, and he's 6'9".
He's 6'9".
Yeah, so that's.
Oh dang! Yeah, that's crazy. And what's crazy? They had him. Let me see. Oh no, because he was a forward. He was a forward. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that.
But he is a better fit for them.
Yeah, I think. Oh, you said Scoot is a better player?
No, I'm saying like Brandon Miller. Scoot is a better player, but Brandon Miller is a better fit for Hornets. Actually,
I get what you're saying. No, I agree. I think now that I know that, I think that's that is a better maker. But honestly, I don't think Scoot Henderson was really a good pick for the Trailblazers, to be honest. If I'm gonna say that, but I think they picked them, for draft value, because the Trailblazers before this were, there was some news or rumors with the Trailblazers potentially, trading their number 3 spot in the draft to get somebody who can put them back in playoff or at the best finals contention. So I that's highly unlikely. Depends on who really wants him, and depending on who they trade with and what they get. But I think that's what the scenario here with the Portland Trailblazers is. Because because the Trailblazers don't need guards, bro.
Well, that's the thing. They might, because they were talking about trading Dame, and
trading Dame. But you would have. I could see where you're coming from. But my thing
build
about
up around, Scoot. Restart kind of the team.
But they have so many other guards though. But they are grabbing the best player available. Like if I were the Trailblazers, obviously I can understand like if they drafted Brandon Miller and keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Being a 6'9", but my point is with the Portland Trailblazers, is that they have Shandon Sharp, Anthony Simons, Damian Lillard, they have guards. They have guards. I don't think they're looking because remember, Damian Lillard wants to stay. So it's not, even though the headlines have been with him being traded, it was out today that Trailblazers weren't taking calls for Damian Lillard. So they're not looking to trade him, but they're looking to trade somebody for something.
Mm-hmm. Well,
go back to this though. See. All right. So Amen Thompson at number 4 has been a rumor for some time, as Amen Thompson, high wire athleticism and ability to play on the ball makes him a nice fit next to players like Jalen Green and whoever else it is that can play well enough to be part of Houston's future. I had Thompson rated slightly lower, but this is a high variance situation. Nobody really knows how to calibrate the evaluation of two Thompson, given that they have mostly been playing against overmatched younger players the past 2 years. And then the Detroit Pistons just came in. They just selected the other brother. Sure, Thompson.
yeah. So Magic is next.
Let's see. Get the new pick. All right. So yeah, so Pistons. In my opinion, and this is not my opinion, this is from the Athletic. The shooting question is much more important for a Shore than it is for a man. Because a Shore figures to be playing off the ball much more often, he'll be asked to space the floor and not allow this man to sag off him and shrink the floor in a significant way. If he can't shoot, there's a chance it's hard for him to start in the NBA. That's why his floor is a bit lower than a men's. In my view, having said that, if he does shoot it, and again, both twins are extremely high level workers, the ceiling ashore is extremely high. It would open his game entirely on offense because it would allow him to be that successful creator who plays out of ball screens on the second side, but also can attack off the catch, off kickouts to continue to bend defenses. His driving game would open because he'll be able to attack more often in straight lines. His passing is terrific for a secondary creator at 6'7". His defense is His defense has real upside that is probably just below all defensive caliber. All that leads to a legitimate all-star ceiling. The player he most reminds me of is Andre Iguodala right now. It's all going to come down to how much you trust a human being involved and how confident you feel in how the ball comes out of his hands, even if the mechanics are a work in progress. If you're a believer, you might have a Shore as high as number 4 on your board. If you're not, it's reasonable to have him somewhere more in the middle of the first round. I'm much more on a believer side because I believe in him to figure out an answer on the jumper, but there is some risk. So that's it, or at least on that. You're comparing him to Andre Iguodala. Your mic's a little is cracking a bit, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll fix it. Oh, I didn't see that the Lakers have a number 17 pick.
You said you didn't or you did?
Not.
Yeah. They still have it.
Oh, well.
Oh, you thought they didn't have it?
No, I didn't see that they had it still. I thought they...
No, because it was a pick swap. This year was a pick swap. So the reason why they still have it is because they were in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have missed the playoffs, or been a lower seeded team, then Pelicans would have taken that pick. But Pelicans, they weren't convinced with the 17 pick. There's nobody that you would be like, oh my God, like Let me use that opportunity now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shore Thompson, the next Andre Iguodala, athletic wing, secondary ball handling, elite defender, solid shooter. Still a work in progress, but better mechanics than the men. Good pull-up shooter from mid-range. Shows the versatility to guard positions 1 through 4. He's pesky, scrappy, tough, and smart on and off the ball. Reminds me a lot of Andrew Wiggins / Andre Iguodala.
That's a crazy build.
It is. And how tall are you guys? Let's see. Oh, Magic's pick is in. Hold up. Okay. All right. So Orlando Magic pick Anthony Black. Another guard. How tall? Oh, yeah, that was predicted from Arkansas. From Arkansas. He said, Black is the kind of player I tend to love and sometimes tend to overrate. I love bigger guards who have real athleticism and can process the game well when playing at full speed. These type of players who can clearly think about the game at an exceptionally high level tend to be able to figure it out when it comes down to it. That's my bet on Black. I think he'll figure it out. He has a fast brain and he's an athletic enough to make things happen out on the court. He must be able to at least continue to show growth as a shooter, though. There have been enough flashes with him off the catch to where I think he has potential to make it work. And if the skill translates, he should be able to really make an impact as the kind of big secondary initiator and creator whom every team is looking for the next high-end perimeter star. A bet on him shooting is worth a mid-lottery pick to me because if the shooting translates, he's going to be a very impactful player. And he'll be the kind of player who might impact winning at the highest levels of the league. Wow. Very high praise, man. Let me see how tall this guy is. This said he need a tall guard. Oh, so he's 6'7". So there's a lot. NBA is like switching to the point where now you're starting to see like a lot of these guards be bigger. Like it's like the NBA is becoming a taller game.
It does.
Once again, because you had him go at 6'7". You see the other guys.
Just like in good old days when NBA was a real sport.
Yeah, it's still a real sport, man. No cracking on it, bro. You still watch it? Sure. Yeah, they were 6'7" too. Yeah, Ashore was. I just want to clarify, like his brother. Yeah, they're both 6'7". I mean, understandably so. They're twins.
They're 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah. You see 6'5", 6'6". Oh, so that was on Google. So that what you said is probably the real thing. That's probably what they shoes off though.
Yeah, the one in Pistons is 6'5", the one in Rockets 6'6".
Yeah. Well, they grabbing up all the big guys, all the big players.
Yeah.
Pacers is up now. Oh, the pick is in. So Indiana already got their pick in. What they got now? Jarvis Walker from Houston. Yeah. 6'8", power forward. But you know, a lot of these guys aren't going to be good, though.
Obviously. Vamby more than likely to get an injury and be a bust.
Who?
Vamby.
I mean, I wouldn't say he would be a bust. If anything, being injury prone can make you a bust. Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Indiana's in. So they selected Bilal Koulibaly from France. I didn't think he was. No, he definitely wasn't supposed to go that high. Let's see. Oh yeah, he was supposed to go to Thunder. He was playing alongside Victor Wembanyama.
They're on the same team.
Update this. Let me see what they say about him. All right. So Koulibaly is one of the most interesting mixes of immense upside and raw, unrefined, polished to enter the NBA draft in a long time. There are so many pieces of Koulibaly's game that you can make that would make you want to buy in. His athletic tools are incredible and are exactly what every single team across the league is looking for. He plays hard and plays unselfishly in open spaces. It's clear if he tightens up his handles, his downward speed and potential is real. He is willing to understand his role and play with a high motor, doing whatever it takes to get on the floor and help the team. Defensively, it's not an irrigation to say that his physical gifts give him genuine upside to become an all-defensive player. His jump shot is far from broken. He clearly has a natural touch, but he also doesn't do enough on the floor right now either. He's an incredibly low volume offensive player. His handle is far from broken. Is probably a multi-year project in terms of getting confident enough from NBA range to at a speed that will be necessary for him to get off at a value. And even on defense, he's still kind of a step slow when he's away from the ball. His role is so limited because it's hard to gauge what his NBA floor is. Even with the knowledge that he dominated the youth level there, I don't think there is a prospect in the draft with a wider gap between his floor and his ceiling. This is more of a. I think I heard somebody come in. Oh, I heard somebody come in. But because he is such a late bloomer physically and is just starting down this road, I'm not sure we have enough evidence on how strong his feel of the game is or what his overall potential is as a creator. Koulibaly is an epitome of a player where you will see what you want to see. If you want to see the best in prospects and value the best flashes, you're going to love him. If you nitpick the player's weaknesses, he has to do a lot with them, and you're probably going to be less interested. What I'm most worried about is a team drafting him and not willing to be patient and ride out what will undeniably be a long-term project. If a team is willing to go slow with the Metropolitans did this year and give him a couple of years to figure it out, the return could be immense. But if they try to rush things or be impatient, Koulibaly might get slow given how much of his skill and feel-based parts of the game he still must develop. Your guess is as good as mine on where Koulibaly's career ends, but he is undeniably worth making an informed bet on. Yeah, I know I messed up some words, but hey, man, it is what it is.
You see, my concern is that I'm looking at their stats, particularly their weight and height, and this guy is 6'8", but he's 194 pounds. Bro's gonna get broken like a toothpick. That's too light for someone 6'8".
You said 109 and how much?
194 pounds while 6'8".
Oh man, yeah. Who's that?
Well, this guy, the French one.
Koulibaly?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. And so they had a big lineup, man.
Yeah, and he's a forward, so
Hmm.
obviously. So that doesn't look good. And
I mean,
same with Brandon Miller, actually. A forward, 6'9", but 200 pounds. Like, he needs at least 10 more pounds for 6'9".
yeah, I could see that. I mean, I would say that he would at least need to be like 200. But I mean, some doctors say that when you're skinnier, when you're taller, being skinnier is less towing to your body. I'm not no professional in that matter, so I have no reason to kind of agree or disagree. But I mean, that's what they say. That's what they said about Chet Holmgren because he's skinny as shit too.
And that's why you didn't see shit from him. I was literally about to bring him out. Bro was...
Wait, hold on. Washington pick is in. Okay, they took Jarvis Walker. No, they took Jarvis Walker. You can continue though.
That people were saying that Chet is gonna be like rookie of the year or something. Like, he's gonna be crazy. Well,
I mean, he can still be rookie of the year. You know that, right?
Can he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you don't play, you can still.
Yeah, he didn't play, bro.
Forgot about that.
And I think this year would be harder for him though. I think this year would have with his class would have been easier. I feel.
100%.
Even I feel like there were some good rookies out there, but there was nobody that was putting up numbers like Paulo Ventura. But give or take, Paulo Ventura wasn't like an efficient player this year. He averaged 20 points. Like, there's upside with his game, but he's still like raw with
No, for sure, but he still cleared literally everyone else from his job.
But that he did. But give or take, there were some other rookies that performed in the second half of the year at a better level than Paulo Ventura. You know what I mean? Like Jason Williams on the OKC. He performed at immense levels.
My guy Brown from the Nuggets.
Who?
Brown.
Oh, Brown. Come on,
Number
bro.
0. Bro, he was doing his thing.
I mean, he did his thing, bro. But if we're talking about rookies clearing, most of the rookies, that played were on bad teams. Like he wasn't even in the conversation for rookie for rookie of the year or in the rookie leaders. Like, there was Robert Duran, there was Hunter, right? Hunter Walker, or Walker Kessler. There was another
Who's
guy
injured too.
Huh?
Who was injured too?
Walker Kessler?
Yeah.
He played majority of the year though.
Yeah, so he got injured.
I mean, but he played majority of the year, bro. I mean, he wasn't gonna win rookie of the year anyway.
No, but who else was there? Jabari Smith.
Oh, he was drafted last year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I don't think he had enough. Like, he didn't have like a standout rookie year.
Oh, Keegan Murray. There.
Keegan Murray, he was a volume shooter this year. Even though I could see him doing numbers, but he was young on a team that that's moving in the direction with their established stars already. Like Keegan Murray, like, to his benefit, he's able to shoot. If I'm not mistaken, I think he broke Donovan Mitchell's record for the most threes in a rookie season.
Maybe I haven't seen that, but the one that actually,
he did it.
but Actually, the second one that I think is the second best player from that draft is Benedict Mathurin.
I can see that. I can see that potentially. He did have some games.
Yeah, he had good games. And the third one would be probably Jaden Ivey. Actually, no. Probably not. The only ones that are worth mentioning are Paulo and Benedict Mathurin. That's all there is.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. Pick is in for Utah. Okay. All right, so let me look at the overview so far. Jarvis Walker. I didn't read his. Jarvis Walker. Let me read this. Okay. Kelvin Sampson has made his mark at Houston with players who were under-recruited overachievers, but he got himself a bona fide one-and-done in Jarvis Walker, a McDonald's All-American from Baltimore who was ranked number 8 in Recruiting Services Consensus Index. Walker came to the program that had been in Elite 8 and Final 4 previous 2 seasons, started as a freshman day 1 and ended the season as a runaway choice from AAC Freshman of the Year after averaging 11.2 points and 6.8 rebounds. Walker shot 34.7% from 3, but just 66.3% from the foul line. So it's not yet clear how well his offensive skills will translate to the NBA. He does, however, have an NBA-ready body and mindset. He will be a high-level rebounder and versatile, switchable defender at the next level. Walker is raw, but he is undeniably talented. If he maximizes his potential, the Pacers are looking at a future NBA star.
Wait, where was he playing?
Houston.
What do you mean by Houston? Like
Houston University.
Oh.
Yeah, in college. And then he was putting up some numbers too, and he was doing his thing. Houston were one of those teams that were competing in the tournament, in March Madness tournament. Mm-hmm. And I like seeing players that are projected to, go off or be a high level player or a high level draft player to perform in the tournament. We've seen flashes of Buddy Hield, go crazy in March Madness. We've seen Trey Young go crazy in March Madness. We've seen Steph Curry go crazy in March Madness. All right. And even to an extent, we've seen Zion. But those are just the ones that I've seen off the top of my head, though. But I think that's a very valid point to say, given what they gave off his numbers, is his offensive window. How is his skill going to translate on the NBA level? And I think that's really the hardest thing to predict. I think if a guy is a defender, I don't think he'll lose, his defensive touch. But what I do think is that, is how is his shot going to translate? Utah Jazz pick is in there.
Yeah.
Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks was just drafted. Let's see. Right. So I love Hendricks going to a team that is well situated in terms of shot creation and thus could allow him to come along more slowly in that respect. He's ways off from being able to impact the game as a ball handler or creator. But Hendricks possesses the kind of 3-and-D game that could be a real difference maker to teams that need those skills. Almost every team with an established hierarchy and stars needs these skills. Hendricks is a 6'9" in shoes. He's long and switchable, and he defends the rim well from the weak side. He has potential to be an awesome pick and roll defender due to his versatility, and his length would take up a large portion of the court than the normal run-of-the-mill wing prospect. The number of players 6'9" or taller who enters the league as plus defenders and plus shooters is extremely minimal. It's Jabari Smith Jr., Franz Wagner, Trey Murphy III, Jaren Jackson Jr. since 2018. That's why Hendricks is going to hear his name called in the lottery. It's hard to see how this skill set fails, even with his faults. He does the three most important things a role player in the NBA could do. He shoots it well off the catch. He defends well in space, and he plays well within help defensive concepts. All right. So Utah Jazz, man, gonna be playing alongside what's that dude's name? The power forward.
Oh, fuck.
Laurie.
Yeah, Laurie.
Walker Kessler. And I think they still have they have Mike Conley, if I'm not mistaken.
They do.
Yeah,
they got
so
Mike Conley, Colin Sexton, you said, right? Jordan Clarkson.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah, man, but they're right on that though. 3-and-D players, they're hard to come by. And then when you get one, that can shoot and defend, that's and the fact that he's 6'9" too.
Mm-hmm.
Wizards move one of their second-round picks to Indiana. So Wizards will send one of their 6 future second-round picks they're getting from Phoenix and one of their own future seconds to the Pacers to move up to take Coulibaly. Wait, what? So
they traded Coulibaly already?
I don't know. Well, this just dropped like a minute ago. So I don't know how official this is to say. Well, I mean, it's official because it's athletic, but I just don't understand, what they're saying here. Because I would say what you're saying, but I just want to see like how, like if this went through, you know what I mean? I'm just trying. It just seems like a little vague. So the Jazz have to be absolutely thrilled that Taylor Hendricks landed in their laps at 9, a player most had greater than this, and one who's switchable, 3-and-D player. 3-and-D game can accommodate a lot of different lineup variations. The other notable development here is that Cam Whitmore hasn't been picked up yet. There were murmurs that the Villanova forward could slide if Houston didn't take him at 4, and that appears to be the case. So Dallas Mavericks are in, bro. All right, this is gonna be interesting now. I'm interested to see who the Dallas Mavericks are gonna pick up at the 10th pick right now. Oh, so they have Derek Lively. Derek Lively the second.
Uh-huh.
Derek Lively. Is that the case? Is that who they pick up? Let me see. The Dallas selection has been deemed by rival teams as the most likely lottery pick to move entering draft night. With the Mavericks aiming to maximize value and searching for the highest bidder, Dallas has interest in Lively but continues to weigh its options and trading block, looking for the right opportunity to upgrade their roster while also preferring to stay in the draft and potentially grab a player they like further down, like Case and Wallace. Lively has potential suitors right after this pick in Orlando and OKC, making a trade target for other teams at this spot, most notably Atlanta, which could aim to package the number 15 pick with Clint Capella and move up and draft him.
Mm-hmm. They want to get with Clint Capella. But I've heard that the Hawks, they want to include John Collins with it too. Like it's not gonna be just Clint Capella.
Oh, I believe it. They was trying to get rid of John Collins last year. I got rid of John Collins. Oh yeah, they picked him up. Oh no, hold on. No, they picked a different guy. Case and Wallace, the other guy they were talking about.
Wow.
Guard. Texas Gatorade Player of the Year. UK freshman with 20 points on 80% field goal in the NCAA tournament. Damn. So he averaged 20 points off of 80% field goal? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
That could be crazy for that could be crazy for a team like the Mavericks, though. Considering, with Luka.
And they do need a good center. Like he's a center, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like a big body center though. He looks like more like he's like a Nicholas Claxton.
Well,
More like kind of one of those players. Like high efficiency scorer, but not really a lot of volume shooting. But you never know. I mean, it's hard to predict whether, these guys are gonna be like playing at an all level, all and he can shoot. Well, he's a guard. No, I'm tripping. Derek Lively was center. Let me see. I gotta find him. I'm tripping. I'm big tripping. No, yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah, he's a guard.
oh, so it's not the prediction one.
Yeah. That's wild though. Even then. Because he was doing, remember, he was scoring 20 points off of 80% shooting as a guard.
Yeah, that is crazy. But they already have two guards. So
he's 6'4". I mean, yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
Or they know that Kyrie is not coming back.
Or they could be trying to trade him.
Yeah.
They could be trying to trade him. But I'm confused by it too. But we'll see. I'm probably gonna do like a reaction on these grades, on these trading grades. Like this is widely considered to be one of the big pivot points of the draft, as Dallas has been trying very hard to make a deal with this pick to supplement its current roster, and the list of the elite available players drops off to another tier right here. The Mavs would deal Davis, Burtons to Thunder's cap space once the new cap year begins in July. And the Thunder will move up 2 spots and grab Kentucky's Case and Wallace. With the third pick, Wallace is a good all-weather guard who can defend and shoot. He had some injury questions after hobbling through one season at Kentucky, but apparently nothing serious enough to knock him off the board. This is a great save for Dallas, but the Mavs will generate a $17 million trade exception and something of an overpay by the Thunder, who might have felt Wallace winning gold 12.
So, what you guys say about all the trades so far, like the Celtics, uh, Warriors?
Yeah, we can talk about that a bit. Talk about some things that's been going on. So the Warriors Wizards trade. So let me just get like a good summary about it though. So the Wizards. So yeah, let me bring this up. So the Wizards are trading Chris Paul to the Warriors for a package headlined by Jordan Poole, league sources told The Athletic. The Warriors are sending Poole, Ryan Rollins, a protected first round pick in 2030, and a second rounder in 2027 for the Wizards for Paul. The Phoenix Suns traded guards Paul and Landry, as well as at least 4 second-round picks and multiple pick swaps to Washington for guard Bradley Beal. Wizards officials told The Athletic Sunday that they would like to have Paul on the roster next season, but would work with the Suns and Paul to trade him if he preferred to play elsewhere. Yep. So there you have it. Warriors send Jordan Poole, Ryan Rollins, and a couple picks for Paul. Yeah, this is just a very head scratching decision by the Warriors, in my opinion. I don't see how or why. Orlando Magic pick just came in. They just drafted Jet Howard, the son of Jawan Howard, who played on Miami Heat. He made 78 3-point field goals last season, third most in the Big Ten. All right. So yeah, I'm confused on it, but I understand it though. I just don't agree with the method of it. I don't agree with how they went about it. Like, because for one, there's a chance where Chris Paul could have still been bought out, and you gave up draft compensation. Like, you gave up, draft compensation for him also. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if you were like trying to get rid of Jordan Poole, but you had to give up some draft, some draft picks. And those picks are like 2030. So at that time, that might be a time where they might need that pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but we know it was just a move to kind of get rid of Jordan Poole, because the situation here with the Warriors is, Draymond Green opted out of his player option, his $27 million player option. So, they're looking at a situation where they got to pay Draymond over Poole, bro. You have to pay Draymond in this situation over Poole. So I think they chose, they went with their gut. They went with their decision. And I feel like it's clear as day, because Chris Paul, oddly enough though, I think he's still getting $30 million this year. So so he's still getting that contract. Yeah, I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it, because he's still getting his contract. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, his contract is for 2 more years.
So it's gonna be interesting to see, what they do with the Draymond situation. But I think the Warriors in the future are gonna try to find somebody to play in that that center spot. But you seen Kuminga freaking grew to like 7 feet, bro. You heard about that?
No. But I know he was traded. He's gonna be traded now.
Nah, they say he's not traded.
Oh.
They said they're not trading. They said they weren't trading.
Before I saw that they were going to trade him.
There were rumors. But I got a message earlier in the day that they weren't going to be trading. Yeah. So let me see. Let me pull this up. Fact checking. Yeah, because I want to fact check this. Because if he said like 7 feet, yeah, because they were trying to say he was like 7'2" now. Let me see. Jonathan Kuminga, height rumors. Let's see. Rumors about Kuminga's height flooded social media after several posts on Twitter claimed that he had grown to 7'2" in the past year. That's a massive increase of 7 inches from his listed height of 6'7". I'm just trying to find it though. Oh, it was a joke.
Makes sense.
He said, I'm not lying. He's tall as effing right now. The 19-year-old arrived at the Bay at only 6'7". 20-year-old now rumored to be 7 feet. Yeah, it's a joke. It was just being egged on.
Bro, it's like Skip believing all the memes.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I didn't believe it. I mean, you just saw me look it up just now to verify. We've heard things like that though. There was they do that every year. Like there's always like a fake rumor of somebody getting ridiculously tall in the season. Like I think it was last year. I think it was or 2 years ago. It was Anthony Bennett. Or not Anthony Bennett. Anthony Edwards.
Oh.
Yeah, they photoshopped him and they made him seem like he was like tall as hell. And I believe that at that time. I was like, man, they got me. They got me that time though.
Yeah.
Definitely got me that time. Let's see. Oh, but let me get off this. But yes, going back to the trade though, because I know we were talking about that. Yeah, man. What do you think about it though?
Well, I think that what is it?
The Warriors, Chris Paul.
The Warriors and Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
That Wizards finesse them, but they need something like that after they got fucked by the other trades they had. They need some real good trade for going for them.
But that's what I'm saying though, man. Yeah.
Before that, because the other ones, like the Porzingis ones, they got robbed for that trade. But hey, now they robbed Warriors.
But I mean, I'm not strongly. I'm just not saying I strongly disagree with what you're saying. I'm just saying I'm not. At the end of the day, bro, you gotta look at it this way, right? With Porzingis, he was probably planning on leaving the Wizards anyway, because he's on the last year of his contract. Now, I'm not agreeing with the Wizards end. I'm just stating my point in that their focus is building a young core. Right now, remember, Washington isn't one of those teams that you really pay attention to. So, or most people would pay attention to. But if you look at their roster and certain skill attributes and how some of these guys play, they have a decent enough. They have decent players on there. Now, it's not the same because Kuzma opted out of his contract. Porzingis is obviously on the last year of his contract, and then he's on the Celtics. And then Bradley Beal, right? But I do feel like the Bradley Beal situation was, a lopsided deal. But I didn't think they wanted Aiden. I didn't think they wanted DeAndre Aiden. Like, I feel like that could have been the best situation, yeah. But looking at it from a different perspective, DeAndre Aiden is signed to a new contract. He's just starting his new contract. So he's already locked in. And then given his performance in this year's playoffs, OKC is in now.
Okay.
Oh, damn, I missed Toronto. No, I didn't. I'm tripping.
But you missed Magic one.
Oh, Derek Langley or Lively. Oh, I missed the Magic.
Yeah. Like a guy from Michigan.
Let's see, let me go back. Oh. Let me see. So Derek Lively, and then the second Jet. Oh yeah, no, I talked about Jet Howard. Remember I brought up Juwan.
Oh yeah.
He was the second year player in the road.
Mhm.
The Magic have drafted a limited one and done from Michigan with a rep as a shooter. Jet Howard can now fight Caleb Houston for minutes behind Orlando's Sorfet of forwards. Honestly, I'm a bit befuddled here, but if Orlando wanted a pure shooter, the best bet on the board was clearly Grady Dick, but perhaps his resplendent red suit caused the Magic to reevaluate at the last minute. More seriously, I have to think trading down would have still let them get Howard if he was their guy. Also, can we talk about how much Cam Whitmore is sliding? I mean, he very, very clearly has way more upside than Howard and plays the same position. Where the medical's that bad, so there seems to be something sprouting up there. Trying to say Cam Whitmore is hurt. So here it is. Here it is. Oh, I wasn't even showing it though. Yeah. So here's the updated draft picks. Everybody that was drafted so far. Feast your eyes. Hey man, if y'all tuning in too, like the video. Show some love, man. Like the video, man. You know, here for hour 22. How many picks should we go through?
We should go through
to for the video.
That's a good.
Well, all right. Let me see. All right, so
how many are there in the first round left?
30. It's the whole 30 teams, bro.
Oh.
It's just there's only 2 picks that's not in the second round. And those were 76ers in Chicago. So those are the only 2 teams that's not drafting in the second round. But I would say
let's go on to the Warriors one.
Warriors?
Yeah. Because I want to see who Lakers get. And
I mean, I want to see who Lakers get too, but I don't know. I mean, there's some teams that I would want to see who they pick up, but I mean, it's just for the video. So yeah, we can probably. I'll say Warriors.
Yeah.
Warriors 19.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's reasonable. I want to see who the Warriors pick up because the Warriors have been horrible drafting.
Let's do the Rockets then, so that it's perfect at 20. And I want to have a good number.
Yeah, but they loaded up on draft picks though.
No, the most loaded are the Hornets. Like they got 2 in the first round, and then they got like 3 in the second round, I think. Or yeah, they got 5 picks in both rounds.
Let's see. Tune in. Right. See what's going on Twitter though. NBA draft.
Wait, so then what about the trade with Porzingis and Because I think Celtics really fucked up on letting go of Marcus Smart. He was their third best player. They definitely should have worked something out that didn't involve him.
Nah, I see why they did it. I don't think you I don't think you're factoring the whole roster here with Boston. Because if you seen how Boston played during the season when Marcus Smart was out and Derek White was on the floor, he's better on the floor than with Marcus Smart. Like Celtics are better on the floor with Marcus Smart on the floor.
Really?
Yeah. Go back and look at it. Go look at the end of the second half of the season. Look at the numbers that Derek White was putting up, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like when I play fantasy, I'm looking at their performance too. Remember, I had Derek White on my team, bro. I had Derek White on my team, so I know how he was performing this year. He was a good pickup. Like I think there was a game where he had like multiple steals and blocks, bro. Like he had like he was going crazy at some point. Like there were some games where he gave me like 70 points one day.
Yeah.
So, but relatively speaking, though, obviously that's a sacrifice you make, to Toronto picking that. Oh, who Dallas get? I missed that one too.
Dallas?
Grady Dick in Toronto. Let's see. Pull this up though. Let me see who I missed. Sorry guys if I'm missing some things.
You mean OKC?
Yeah, OKC.
Yeah, you said Dallas.
Oh, because Dallas, it says their pick, but they said from OKC, so they got the pick from Dallas. I think they traded. Yeah, they traded. Yeah. It looks like Dallas traded OKC for Case and Wallace. That might be the case. 12? No, let me reload this. Oh, okay. Remember that? All right, so remember that article we were talking about?
Yeah.
Or that little notification? So, all right, so 10 is OKC. They have Case and Wallace. And then Mavericks have Derek Lively. So they still have the guy that they were going to get. And then 13, Toronto has Grady Dick. The ugliest red suit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. Now, did you see why he said why he wore it?
No.
Because he's, you remember that book with like Dorothy with like the like brick road, yellow road or something?
Wizards, the Wizards.
Yeah, that thing. Like, she's from the same state.
Oh, so, I get it.
So his suit is like her, like, shoes, wherever. But still stupid. His suit looks ass.
Pull this up.
So he's going to the Raptors?
Oh, yeah. Grady Dick, yeah. Grady Dick. I'm scrolling down. I'm just scrolling down through Twitter. But yeah, in getting Kristaps Porzingis, like, it adds height and rim protecting, to their team, because with all that considering, like Al Horford is getting older, man. He's not going to keep playing the same way he's going to be able to play. You know what I mean? Like, and he doesn't provide consistent value that Kristaps Porzingis can bring. Now, understandably so, Kristaps has to be healthy. He has to play at he has to He has to stay healthy, and he has to play at a level, at a certain level during the playoffs. But given the fact that he's a third option, more than likely so. Or he could clearly be like a second option on some nights. But I think replacing Kristaps or Smart, I think that was a solid move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a solid move because Marcus Smart.
I mean, they let go of Williams too, right?
No, they didn't. They still have him.
Wow.
Yeah, so imagine a lineup where you have Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis, and Robert Williams. That's a beast of a lineup, bro. You're telling me players are going to be able to drive to the rim easy with that sort of lineup?
I mean, Porzingis ain't much of a defender.
That's where you're wrong. He's a good shot. He's a good shot blocker, bro. Like, there's different aspects to defending. Like, yeah, he's not a perimeter defender. Like, he's not a on the ball perimeter defender that Marcus Smart is, but Marcus Smart is not a shot blocker or a rim protector. Kristaps Porzingis can still block shots. And remember, it's not just him. It's Robert Williams too, who's more of a shot blocker. He's 7 feet, bro.
Yeah, he is.
Let me see what he averaged last year. Yeah, this year he was like about 1.5 blocks per game, and that's decent. Because that means like at least 40% of his games, he's having at least 2 or more blocks in the year. And you can't replace height. You know what I mean? You like with Marcus Smart, you can replace what he does, but you can't replace who Kristaps is. If that makes sense. Because he's a 7-foot guy who can shoot. He shoots better than Marcus Smart. He can rim protect better than Marcus Smart. You know what I mean? He can rebound better than Marcus Smart because he's 7 feet. Like, you gotta look at it in that way, bro. And because he's a big guy, because he's a front court player, his efficiency numbers are going to be better. Because he's a big man. Mm-hmm. Now, with the Marcus Smart trade, though, I'm not too crazy about it, though. I feel like the Grizzlies didn't need to gun for somebody like Smart. They should have went after more shooting. But hold on, the Pelicans pick is in.
Wait, it is a good pick for them? Or...
Wow,
that's crazy. So,
NBA draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Jordan Hawkins from the University of Connecticut.
Jordan Hawkins on the Pelicans, guard. So crazy, bro. Remember that trade I just brought up?
Yeah.
I apparently that was before it was even announced. So if anybody was watching on the channel, they found out about it before it even happened, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Adam Silver just announced it. But I mean, it was probably going on Twitter though. So, or the notification, the rumors were probably already out. Like Shams was probably reporting it because it was already on Athletic. So if Athletic had had a hold of that information, then more than likely, you're gonna see the other people get a hold of that information also.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Oh, this is all the way to the bottom. Oh yeah, trying to. I'm trying to get to. Oh yeah, right here. We got him. Let me see. No, Jordan Hawkins, New Orleans. New Orleans. Oh man, more to read. All right, so Hawkins has a very rare case as the best shooter in the 2023 NBA draft. His jumper is entirely projectable to the next level, not only in terms of making spot ups, but also creating shots from three at value with his off ball movement. These players who can do this are worth their weight in gold. He's going to make life for stars around him easier. On top of it, he works defensively and he has some upside as a shot creator. But to maximize that and to really become an impactful playoff player, he will have to get stronger, and that will come down to how much weight and strength his frame allows him to add. He has a wiry frame that could cause him some issues in terms of keeping weight and strength on long term. He gets to a truly magnificent level of strength. There are some interesting ceiling outcomes that go beyond the typical off-ball floor spacer. If he doesn't, though, there could be playoff matchups where it's tougher to get him on the court because stronger wings hunt him in mismatches. He's worth taking in the first round if a team already has a superstar creator in place, because Hawkins can immediately step in and help create space for that player. Man, I think Pelicans is gonna be a beast of a team, man. Like if they can, the thing about it is if they can keep this team together, and if this team can stay healthy, this team is gonna be this team is gonna be ridiculous, bro. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. This team's gonna be ridiculous. And if Zion can stay on the floor, bro,
And that's a big if.
But I mean, given, I mean, we can throw that out there, but his career isn't over for one, and when he plays, he plays at an all-star level, bro. Like I think that's still something we can't just like deny or we can't take away from. You know what I mean? Like he still plays at an all-star level. The problem is, he just doesn't freaking play. But besides that, I mean, from what we've seen, bro, like Zion is really the missing piece here. I don't think anybody can guard Zion one-on-one, bro.
No.
Nah, bro. Like one-on-one, no. Because his game, you would have to counteract his game with what he does with strength and grit. Like, and he's quick too for his size. So he's a strong, fast player, bro. I mean, in just those 22 games, bro. Remember, he was a player of the month, if I'm not mistaken. Player of the month, player of the week, either one.
Man.
Hawks players in. Hold up. Kobe Buffkin.
Kobe.
Yep. Kobe. Kobe Buffkin. So Buffkin is one of the guys on whom I will be highest compared to consensus this year. I love how well-rounded his game is and how many of his attributes figure to translate. I buy him as a shooter, and I really buy this feel for the game on offense. His passing is improving as he continues to gain experience. He knows how to play direct basketball off quick decisions. There isn't a ton of fluff there. And while sometimes you would like to see a bit of fluff in terms of the ability to dance and create a shot, I think his ability to play a different cadence and his hip flexibility gives him some upside to develop those gifts once he gets stronger and can hold his ground on the ball against aggressive defenders a bit. With his long arms, stronger shoulders, he has the kind of frame that should be able to add some weight and improve some of the strength-based issues that cause him problems now. Mix that with his touch, his elite finishing, the high release point of his pull-up, and his willingness to be an aggressive defender. I think he profiles nicely as a difference-making guard long-term. Well, I think he profiles nicely as a difference-making guard long-term. He has a size to not be hunted if the strength comes along defensively, and his ability to play on and off the ball will allow him to play with stars at a high level. Buffkin has starter upside long-term, and if he can develop a bit more game off the bounce, separate from his man, there is even a bit more upside beyond that in the highest end potential outcomes. I'm confident putting my chips in on Buffkin as one of my guys. Man, yeah, damn, he had crazy improvement. Sophomore year, freshman year he averaged 3 points. Sophomore year he averaged 14. Like he improved in all numbers. 48% from field goal, 36% from three, but 22% from three freshman year, and 38% from field goal as a freshman. So there's improvement. You know, you like to see things like that when you're looking at players. Just to see that they get better.
Yeah. But now it's the Lakers' time, is it not?
It's the Lakers.
Or it's Utah, then Lakers.
To the Lord. I gotta elevate. But you going back to the trade, but you get what I'm saying though?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So in terms of like the roster makeup, man, I would say the Celtics probably they made the best trade so far because they got something that they could actually use. You know, like I mean, give or take. I mean, I would still say the Beal trade is second. Is a second best trade. I just given like the cap space, it's gonna make it really tough for them to make a move. But they just really have to find a way to get rid of DeAndre Ayton. And keeping DeAndre Ayton, I don't see how I don't see how you can do anything with this roster with DeAndre Ayton on this roster. I don't. But if I had to just grade it off getting those, having those three guys together, I mean, I don't see why there would be so much blowback from it. You really, because Kevin Durant is not a selfish player. Devin Booker has shown that he can develop into somewhat of a decent playmaker. Right? He's not like he's not exactly like Chris Paul level or Trae Young, but I've seen him facilitate. So the idea with the Phoenix Suns roster is to have Devin Booker essentially be the one and Bradley Beal the two. But in today's game, man, I mean, the players aren't really fixed at their position, so so it's really just a combo guard thing. You can have Devin Booker, even though he can be the one, but he can be playing like the two. Or there could be instances where Bradley Beal is the one bringing the ball up the court. But y'all and then obviously you're gonna see some situations where Kevin Durant is gonna do some things also. So I'm not so down on it. I'm just optimistic. I'm just optimistic about where they go from here. I don't think it works with the way it is now. But I think getting Bradley Beal and getting rid of Chris Paul was still a very good move. And supplement the fact that Frank Vogel is a defensive minded coach. I think that sets a good tone for the mentality of this team, because I don't think offense would be an issue moving forward. I think the problem is really just defense. Getting in defense in terms of rebounding, defense in terms of like tenacity, grit, execution. Like really just comes down to that. Because if your offense is bad, that's just because you're just not dropping shots, you're not shooting well. But defense is literally effort and instincts, bro. So if you instill that mindset early on, then Phoenix has a lot of upside. But if you keep DeAndre Ayton, then you're going to have to, scheme very well, and you're gonna have to really get DeAndre Ayton involved on that end. Like you have to have him committed to a defensive role and being a rim protector. But even then, I'm still not convinced with DeAndre Ayton being a lockdown defender against some of these big centers. Like even going against Nikola Jokic, like even though he's 7 feet, he doesn't have a big frame. You know what I mean?
Well, that's not his game. He doesn't need.
What do you mean? He doesn't need. I'm saying. What do you mean? I don't understand.
No. What's your point about the big frame?
I'm saying like with DeAndre Ayton, like when I look at Jokic, right? I'm saying like DeAndre Ayton, even though he's 7 feet, he doesn't have a big frame. So he's not like, he's not imposing. Like he can be the same size as some of these guys, but he's not as strong as some of these other guys. You know what I mean? Like, he's as tall, like he's taller than Giannis, but Giannis is outworking him, bullying him. Utah Jazz just. Okay. Keontae George from Baylor.
Switch the page so it shows it.
Oh yeah. My fault.
But now it's Lakers.
I see it's Wembanyama. What's going on with Cam Whitmore? Oh, so there's a chance that Miami could be picking up Cam Whitmore. So closing this app till Miami picks, I pray it's Cam Whitmore. Damn. Cam Whitmore falling to the Lakers? Let me look up Cam Whitmore. Apparently, they were saying like this dude is the fact that he's sliding down is because of his health. Like he it was apparently like maybe the medical medical record, like something wasn't right. But he's a 6'7". He's a 6'7" forward.
6'7" forward.
Yeah. Or is he a forward? Let me see. Just want to double check. Because in the ESPN mock draft, they had him going at number 8.
No.
They had him going at number 8. But go back to this though. So the Jazz number 16th overall pick is a streaky scorer who looks like a lottery pick when he gets rolling. He's one of the best shot creators off the bounce in the draft and has the ability to rise up and make tough shots. The best case scenario for him is to become a Jamal Murray type scorer. They have similar builds and were high usage scorers in college. Murray was able to do so more efficiently, but George did flash more ability to set up others as a freshman. He had a 20.1 assist rate, but he also was very turnover prone with a 20 turnover rate. He has plenty of room to grow here, but Baylor does a good job schooling his guards in pick and roll reads. Where George gets in trouble is where he tries to do too much offensively and take tough shots. He was better last season when Baylor played in Canada in Global Challenge and was without Adam Fagler and LJ Cryer, and he had to carry the offense. When he wasn't scoring or missing shots, he seemed to affect his game. It seemed to affect his game. He's an emotional player, and he'll need to learn to harness that in a positive way. Sound like this dude's gonna be a bust, bro.
It does. It really does. Honestly, yeah. But hey, wouldn't expect anything else from Lakers franchise, so makes sense.
You know the Jazz drafted him, though, right? Talking about the Jazz player. Hater.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Well,
let's see what else. But hey, man, you never know, man. Just watch. Watch if Lakers make a killer draft pick. I don't know though. Depends. It depends though, because Lakers are not one of those teams that build around the draft. They build in free agency. Like Lakers have always earned their stripes in free agency because they're much more attractive free agency destination in terms of value and what they can give. But it comes with a lot of cachet that a lot of people are not ready for. You know what I mean? Because being in a market like LA or New York or even Warriors, to an extent to Chicago. I mean, not really Chicago, but more of those teams. You know, like the teams I just mentioned. Like that comes with a lot of cachet, a lot of attention. Like Knicks. Whenever you're drafted by the Knicks, bro, it's always brutal. It's always brutal, man.
yeah.
I remember when the Knicks booed the shit out of Kristaps Porzingis. I remember they booed the hell out of him, bro. It was like, "Whoa, boo, who the hell is this guy?" And then he started firing up that season. And then he got traded. Drafting Kristaps Porzingis was probably the only good thing Phil Jackson did. And the fact that he's not even on that team anymore shows you how shit that whole situation was to begin with. Because Knicks, I still feel like Knicks could still try to keep him.
No. You think so?
Repeat. What you're reacting to? I was reading something.
You're saying they could have kept Porzingis?
Yeah, I think the Knicks should have tried to keep Porzingis. I mean, it's a hit or miss, though. You know, when you really think about it, I mean, who would you rather have, Julius Randle or Kristaps Porzingis? And I don't think really one is better than the other. I mean, but regular season wise, Julius Randle is a better player. Playoff wise, they don't really make a difference. You know, but it's very debatable, honestly. Very debatable. But I can see why people would still choose Randall. The only problem with Randall though is his playoff performances. You know, coming up short, having some shitty games, man.
It is.
All right. So we got 3 more picks. Lakers are in. Who? Jalen Hood-Schifino.
For Miami?
No, LA.
Oh.
Let me see. Let me tap into this dude.
Hood? Schifino. Interesting. A guy is a 6'4" guard.
Let's see, I'm looking for the briefing. Oh, right here. Come on now. Don't even have it on here yet. Oh, they typing hard though. That's how you know they're typing hard. Like they're freaking. Oh man, we gotta get this out here. Thompson twins make NBA history, becoming the highest picked brothers in the 2023 draft. I could have guessed that, man. Come on now. They were the 4th and 5th pick. Amon was selected as the number 4th pick, and then the other one was drafted right after. Thompson twins are not, however, the first brothers to be selected back to back. Twins Marcus and Markieff Morris were selected at the 13th and 14th pick in the 2011 NBA draft. Amen and Ashur chose not to attend a Power 5 basketball program and instead played together in the Overtime Elite, a professional basketball league for teenagers. Interesting. So he's a versatile scorer. The new guy, that the Jalen Hood-Schifino. So the question with Hood-Schifino is an offensive role. Will he be good enough with a mid-range and 3-point pull-up scorer to keep defenses honest to open passing lanes? And if he's not, can he improve as a shooter off the catch enough to become an off-ball player? If he can do any of that, he's immediately a valuable role player in today's NBA because of how well he projects on defense. If he can just knock down a spot 3 consistently, that would be enough given his defense, passing, and playmaking ability. Hood-Schifino has a lot of potential avenues he could go down to become a valuable rotation player, but it might be a bit rough early while he tries to find that role due to his scoring inefficiency and lack of explosiveness. I'm a believer in his game eventually translating because guys who are 6'6" lead guards with solid basketball IQ and terrific defense tends to have a lot of in and outs. And if Hood-Schifino does become a real spot-up 3-point shooter paired with continuing to improve as a pull-up ball screen weapon when mixed with his passing, then he has a real starter potential for a long while. Given how well developed his pull-up game is already, I think it's worthwhile investment. He'll take some development, but I'm a buyer in him figuring it out. That's why I have him in my top 15. So a scout sizes up Lakers pick Jalen Hood-Schifino. Mature and physical, one of the best ball screen guards in the draft. Streaky 3-point shooter. I worry about his ability to get by people. He needs to ball screen to create an advantage. Not the best athlete, but he plays at a good pace and has a good feel of the game. I love his toughness and character. He's going to have to improve on his decision making. He predetermines a lot of his decisions, especially coming off ball screens. When he gets around the rim, he doesn't have that pop to him. Miami Heat's on the clock. They on the clock. Let me stay on this. Oh, it's the same thing. Pull it up. All right. Let's see what else is going on here, man. Shams. They're just talking about the last pick. Rob Pelinka is trending.
For what?
Rob Pelinka, why? Yeah. See, the Lakers are mad because of Cam Whitmore. So there has to be something wrong with him, but still, I don't understand why he's dropping so low, though. I think it's it's gonna watch. You're gonna hear some people talk about that, bro. I think it's gonna be interesting. I think Miami Heat takes him though. Watch Miami take him.
Wow.
Miami's gonna take him.
And then bro ends up being like rookie of the year.
Hey, sometimes that's how it happens. I mean, but less often than it does, though. Like usually, rookie of the year is usually like a high draft pick. Like it's somebody that's projected to be good. But the thing, I don't know the full story with Cam Whitmore. Apparently, he's supposed to be higher than what he's supposed to be. But sometimes when you don't get that physical, when you don't pass the medical portion, that affects a lot of teams' decisions.
Has the second round player ever won the rookie of the year?
As a second round player?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's hard to say.
Well, I mean, it's either yes or no.
I'm looking it up. That's why. Let's see. No, I don't see anything. Let's see. Okay. What's the lowest pick? Monk. Oh, Miami. Oh. Cam Whitmore sliding.
They got him?
No, they got Jaime Hawkins Jr. Another guy.
So the Warriors are getting that other guy?
I don't know. In my honest opinion. I don't know. Let me see. So this is interesting. So I tend to bet on a feel over athletic gifts, and Harkis has some gifts in terms of feel for the game that I buy into. On top of that, it's impossible not to be impressed with the way he went from turning around UCLA program in his first year. The intel on Harkis is superb. He's the kind of player you want to buy into. Having said, it's impossible not to worry about his athletic gift. He has a concerning blend of lacking quickness and stiff in the hips that tend to lead to real on-ball defensive issues in the NBA. Even if his off-ball and team capabilities are top-notch, it will come down to Hakeem turning into a real shooter, in my view. He has every capability to be able to do it and has a real touch. He isn't a disaster off the catch right now when he has time. He just needs to iron out his rhythm and get more comfortable when he's rushed. For that reason, I have a late first, early second round grade on him. I want to buy in due to his feel and skill level. And my bet is he figures it out and becomes a role player for a while, but I just can't quite buy in all the way.
Hmm.
So, so a matchup nightmare. So I'm getting something else. So two college coaches size up Jaime Jaquez Jr. Now I remember in Miami he was the 18th. So Pac-12 assistant coach matchup nightmare with post smaller defenders, ruled by bigger defenders, lived at the free throw line, had to respect his 3-point shot, monster rebounder, does not get enough credit for how good of an athlete he is. And then another coach, elite skills, can score in a variety of ways, not the fastest or the most athletic, but his IQ is very high, his elite footwork, and will be a mismatch problem at the next level. I can see it. Honestly, the way they put it, I like the pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks
like the fact that
finally someone who's going to be locking people up since Bam can't do shit.
Sure, that's how you look at it.
Yeah.
They just, I mean, he's 6'6" though. So he said, remember, they said that he's not a defender.
Well,
that's what I read. Then he's not a defending guy. He's he's a shooter. So it's his offensive ability that they're hoping for, and his matchup.
well,
Because they say he's a smart player, high level IQ basketball player. I thought he would have been taller though. I thought Miami should have probably went more on the taller end because I thought what you just thought. Like I thought he was a taller guy. I thought he was at least like 6'9". But
or 6'6" forward.
But he's gotten better every single year though. And he's a 4-year player at that. And remember, Miami they don't draft, they don't pick up horrible players. Like you got to see how they develop under their system to see if they'll really blossom into what he could be. Because Heat are good at making or using players for their best ability.
Mm-hmm. No, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So
But
now
his last year,
keep going.
I was just gonna say his last year he averaged 17 points per game. His shooting though is concerning though. He shot 31% from three.
Yeah, that is concerning.
Give or take, you can always get better in that category.
Yeah, but now it's the Warriors.
Yeah. So this is the last pick. Last pick for us. Last pick for us, y'all. All right, let me get back to that. Oh, they talking about Draymond Green. Hey man, if you guys are tuning in, like the video. See us, we're going 2 hours all the way to the 20th pick. Warriors. What? Who? Brandon Brzezemski.
Who is that?
Brandon Brzezemski. Truly, it's all about how badly you think the athletic deficiencies will hold back Brzezemski. on the defensive end. I buy him completely as an elite shooter from distance, but can he prove that he can guard anybody? His instincts on that end aren't bad, but tools matter in the NBA on defense when you're going up against 6'6 plus primary creators with great length and that are elite athletes. Someone like Austin Reeves, who has turned into a reasonable NBA defender, had much more fluid hips. Podzitsky needs to try to find a way to get more athletic, in my view. Otherwise, he's going to be hunted on the defensive end almost every time down the court in the NBA. He also almost woolly going to be a perimeter player in the NBA. The best case comparison here is someone like Luke Kennard, if you really buy into the touch and overall hooper feel. But even Kennard, I think, was a slicker athlete with a quicker shot release. Podziemski has an elite NBA skill in his shooting and touch, which is something many other prospects in the class just cannot say. But I also think he has some real deficiencies he needs to fix to stay on the NBA court and take advantage of those skills. So that's the Warriors' answer. Just more shooting. more shooting. More. But all right, man, we hitting that 2-hour mark. Not trying to go two over that.
Right. But let's do one more.
One more? Or you want to do the Rockets?
Yeah, I want to finish on the Rockets.
All right, so one more. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be like the year where like people gonna be like we probably gonna look back on this and be like, damn, Cam Whitmore really went down that low. Because if he's gonna be as good as what they say, and for him to slide down this low, I feel like that does a disservice. But there's always teams that like make that foolish mistake to not draft a player because they get injured. I think that's dumb.
So you think there is a high chance he goes undrafted?
No, absolutely not. But I'm saying like players that slide down in the draft because they get injured. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you draft it's like like there's other instances of this, like with what's his name, Michael Porter Jr. for example. He had a back injury, but that was his back injury was severe. It was kind of severe though, but they believed in him. The same with Embiid. Embiid wasn't playing. I think he was injured for like the first 2-3 years of his career. But he was the first overall pick though, so that kind of doesn't count. But I think Michael Porter Jr. would be my most recent example, just because I remember it so well, and his injury also. But I feel like if you're a team that can establish a good foundation in a culture, right? Then you could build with somebody. You can develop somebody who's coming off of an injury. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like especially when they're young. Like in today's NBA, like players don't fall off no more like that off of injuries. Like you don't really see what happened, like the thing that happened to Derrick Rose. You don't see that in other players no more like that. Like a player, like look at Kevin Durant. You know how many times Kevin Durant freaking tears.
Okay, what about Zion?
Zion, but that's what I'm saying. Has Zion played like shit? No. It's just he keeps getting injured. He has to stay healthy, but nobody's talking about his game. Nobody's saying he sucks and all this other stuff. It's just he's just not healthy, and then he's he's getting outed by porn stars. What are you trying to say? With Zion?
Well, I mean, he hasn't played shit, but the thing is, he hasn't played.
Yeah, because if you look at those, the past 3 years, he would definitely be on the lower spectrum of games played. Like I said, man, sometimes things like this just take time, and especially in the thing about the Pelicans too, like they're deep when it comes to their wings.
Mm-hmm.
They're deep when it comes to their wings, man. Like they have players that can shoot, they have players that can defend, they have players that can score. Like they literally have all of that in just in their wing positions, bro. Like they have a player for each thing in their wing position.
Yes. No. All right. So who the Rockets got?
It's coming in now. Okay, yeah, they finally got him. Rockets got him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Rockets got Cam.
Yeah. I think they were just like, hey man, shit. If you sliding down this much, we might as well pick you up. They probably couldn't. Huh?
Honestly, like it's a good team for him. Like he could actually blossom that team, I think.
Yeah, he could, but it's just full of young players. Like
Exactly.
it's about how they put it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what really matters. Because you have like Kevin Porter. You have Jalen Green. Like you have two guys who want to score and who want to score also. But Cam Whitmore, I mean, he has size, which is which is a different advantage. So they have a good looking team. He could definitely be a starting. He's definitely going to be like a coming into this when healthy.
Yeah.
He could be the starting forward. He's an explosive athlete and a disruptive defender, which is what they needed. Honestly, they needed a defender, and Ime Udoka is that type of player.
Coach.
That type of coach that imposes that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gonna be interesting. Well, yeah, that's a good finish. Now, at least we know where he's going.
Yeah. Rockets land projected top 10. Yeah, so he was projected to be a top 10 pick.
Damn.
But then, yeah, damn. So that's crazy. All right, then. So, all right, man. That's about it. Or actually, you know what? Let me read the last one. Last one with Cam Whitmore because I saw something about him. What are we talking about? Oh, no, okay. All right, so will Cam Whitmore be the steal of the draft? Cam Whitmore, a player the Rockets have been extremely high on for weeks, falls all the way out of the lottery right into their lap at 20. Houston spent the evening attempting to move up from 20, but with teams backing off of him, he ends up a Rocket. Can't think of a better draft day scenario for Houston, leaving with two players most considered to be top 10 or even top 5 talents. Health would be the biggest concern, naturally, but the Rockets have some upside on their hands for sure. Here's the thing. When a player like this slides, it can be hard to stop because he likely only worked out and interviewed for teams in the top part of the draft. The others end up without enough information to feel comfortable about the decision to take Cam Whitmore, except for the information that all the other teams passed on him. Nobody wants to feel like the sucker. As for the why, he had bad workouts. Oh man, yes. And additionally, at least one team reportedly red flagged him medically too, which may have been an even greater contributor in the end. The net result is crazy. However, I had Whitmore third on my board. He perhaps not a great fit on a Houston roster that is already allergic to passing, but he can be a 20-point per game scorer who doubles as one of the better defenders at his position. The odds of getting that with a 20th with a 20th pick normally are pretty minimal. I'm absolutely shocked that he was available here, and credit to Houston for having the stones to pounce. All right. So there you have it, man. That's about it. We went on strong. It was a good one, though. Thank you guys for tuning in. And watching Cash Media. You see, we talked about the draft. We didn't get a chance to really dig deep into the off-season moves, but we're gonna have another opportunity to kind of get into that when we have a bigger panel, so we can get into these trades, because best believe there's definitely going to be some more trades moving forward, and free agency is still around the corner, so that's going to be a very big thing that we're going to be talking about here in the future, is free agency, because there's going to be a lot of teams. Once that commenced, then we're going to see a lot of players move around, shift to a lot of teams. There's a lot of questions as to what's going to go down in free agency, and I'm going to be here for it. So tune in for that. That's why I say like the video. So we'll be in your recommendations. Hit that bell, that notification button, so you can get that notification when we go live. And of course, have a wonderful day. This is Cash Media. Appreciate y'all. Be easy.